Hello and welcome to this week of Pop and Scott Talk Baseball. Some things going on. Some players are starting to make some noise now around the league. It's starting to hop. We're going to probably, I would say, if we're going to start seeing some more rookies coming up, we're going to start seeing those here in the next few weeks. But what do you got for us today, Pop? And how was your Easter weekend?
Yeah, we had a great time. We had a great Easter. Yesterday was fantastic. We had 60-some kids in children's church, and then we went and saw the family yesterday afternoon at your niece's house, our granddaughter, and we saw the great-grandchildren, and that was fun. Your great niece, the 3-year-old, they had the Easter egg hunt, and when other people were opening their plastic eggs to take the candy out, she wanted the candy because it was in her yard. So
that makes sense.
It makes sense, and she's an awful lot like her mom. Corey's wired that way too. Anyway, the Cubs, Justin Steele. Last week I reported that Justin Steele left a game with a sore elbow for the Cubs. And he got hurt his leg last year, right at the beginning of the season, missed a couple of months. Well, this year, they did the scans and everything, and now he's going to have surgery and is out for the year. It's not exactly Tommy John, but he's having surgery and he's done for the year. C.J. Abrams of the Nationals, I think he's back now. Yesterday, I think he came back, but he was out with a bad hip for a while, for a couple of weeks. And Paul DeJong, the third baseman, I was watching the game when this happened. I think it was Thursday night or Friday night. He got hit with a fastball in the face on a pitch.
Oh, I did not see that.
It hit him it hit him. He was batting and it hit him he was turning his head and hit his cheekbone, broke his nose. He had to take stitches, and so he's going to be out for a while. It was scary.
I bet. Yeah.
And then the producers of the ball, the producers in the truck, they decided not to re-show it because it was kind of gruesome. But anyway, he's going to be all right, but he's going to be out for a while. The Orioles lost Albert Suarez to a shoulder strain. He's going to be out for a couple of months. They were down. I don't know who they were pitching yesterday. Probably a busboy from Applebee's because they got beat 24-2. So I didn't see the game. Luckily, I was my granddaughter's. The Mets, they lost outfielder Jose Siri. He's out with a hamate bone. He's going to be out for a while. The Cubs and the Arizona Diamondbacks Friday night combined for 16 runs in the 8th inning. The Cubs were winning 8. They were winning 8-1 going into the top of the 8th inning. Arizona scored 10 runs. They were leading 11-8 going into the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Cubs scored 6 runs and wound up winning the ball game. It was the Wrigley Field. The first game was played in 1914, and that's the most runs ever scored in one inning by the two teams. You wonder.
And the fans were probably pissed because that was after the beer inning.
Well, yeah, not only that, but I mean, I can't imagine what the managers are thinking. Who could I bring in to pitch? I mean, can anybody get anybody out?
Right.
I mean, that was just, it's kind of strange, but some of the games they've either been 1-0 or 2-1 where people, pitching 2 hitters or something, or it's 25-5. I mean, it's just crazy. Right. It's up and down the congratulations are in order for Mamiko and Shohei Ohtani. They had a baby girl. He was out on paternity leave, and they had a baby girl, so congratulations to them. I went ahead and put down the standings, just, do that for a few weeks. Just in the American League, the Yankees are leading Toronto by a game, Boston by a game and a half, and then Boston won today. Cleveland and the Yankees are playing now. Detroit is leading the Central, and they're leading Cleveland by a game and a half. Texas leads Seattle by 2 in the West. In the National League, the Mets lead the Phillies by 1 game, and they have an upcoming series.
They're playing tonight.
They're playing tonight. And I was hoping they were going to show it on MLB, but they're not. They're showing another game. They're showing San Diego. The Cubs are leading Milwaukee by 2 and Cincinnati by 3 in the Central. And San Diego leads the Dodgers by a half game in the West, and San Francisco's 1 game out. And Arizona's not, I think, 2 games out. So that division is very competitive, except for the Rockies. The Rockies and the White Sox have the 2 worst records in baseball, which is no shock to no one.
Right.
The team that's playing a little better than everybody thought they were, including me, is Miami. They're winning a few games. There are 13 this week. There's only 13 teams that have losing records, and 2 teams are at 500. So a few teams picked it up a little bit last week.
15. I mean, usually it's going to be split in half. Who's over 500 and who's under.
Yeah, and Colorado lost Zagar Tovar. He's out with a bad hip. The San Diego Padres lost Jason Hayward. He's going on the IL. He's got a hip problem.
That's what happens when you get old.
Yeah, and he's an old ball player. And Luis Ariz got carted off last night.
That was vicious at first.
He collided with the first baseman running to first base.
Yeah,
and he got carted off, but the prognosis is good. He shouldn't miss much time.
Yeah, I don't know what the ruling was on that play.
I just saw the replay. I didn't see. I wasn't watching the game.
Yeah, it was a nasty hit. Full force.
So, well, he was running full force with all his in the first.
That guy was right in the base. I mean, I don't care if he's behind the baseline. You got to give him somewhere to run.
Right
behind the base. It was pretty bad.
And the Dodgers, gee whiz.
Do you have any news on Arenado? He got hit on the hand the other night. He didn't play yesterday.
They said it was a bad bruise.
Okay. He Kodai Senga actually showed a little like he was like, I'm so sorry, to me. Because you could tell he was in some pain when it happened.
Well, I mean, they had the Nationals pitcher was suspended 3 games, Rodriguez, the other day for throwing. And I was watching the game. And the manager got suspended for 1 game. I was watching the game. The pitch that came high and tight slipped out of his hand. It was a changeup, the circle change, and it came off his fingers. Now, you got to remember, they're playing in Colorado. The weather's cold. It's damp. And it came off his fingers. You could tell it slipped. However,
I thought this was against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was against Pittsburgh. But it was in Pittsburgh, there was about 12 people in the stands because it was 40 degrees. Mm-hmm. 2 nights, it was freezing out.
It was McCutchen and who did he hit right in the side? I mean, he blasted somebody in the side.
But the pitch that he got thrown out for slipped out of his hand. You could tell the one that got high inside to McCutchen didn't hit him, but it just went by his helmet. But the point was the games. That was where DeJong got hit in the face. Mm-hmm. Was Pittsburgh. So you don't know whether that's retaliatory or not.
Right.
He already hit 1 guy, so you can't let it go. I don't. Right. A lot of people say, well, because a lot of the buddies of mine are the Nationals fans. They said the ball slipped out of his hand. I said that's true, but the ball got too close. You can't. The umpires can't do. The umpires have to control the game. You can't allow. Oh well, I think it slipped out of his hand. No, it's what you had seen in that game and the game before. After DeJong got hit in the face, you had to do something. And they said, well, why did the manager get suspended for 1 game? I said, because it's mandatory. And
it's in the rules.
It's in the rules. So he's just the pitcher suspended 3 and he's suspended 1. And that's fine. And as a pitcher being suspended 3 games, he has 4 days off anyway.
Yeah. That doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
Unless it's a relief pitcher, and that really doesn't hurt you too
Yeah.
bad. He might miss 1 or 2 reliefs in that 3 days.
Last night, the Dodgers beat the Rangers 1-0. They won the series 2 games to 1 in Texas. But Tyler Glasnow left the game early in the second or third inning. He had leg cramps.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong. I mean, there's nothing wrong with bones or muscle. He had leg cramps. But Blake Trinan went on the injured list with a strained left forearm. So Dodger pitchers getting hurt. Gee, what a shock. Milwaukee. I just thought I'd throw this in. They tied a record. They had 9 stolen bases last night. They had 6 in the first inning.
Who was playing? Do you know?
Who was Milwaukee playing?
I can look it up later.
Might be the White Sox.
It's interesting.
The White Sox playing Boston. The White Sox playing ball. Milwaukee. It was Milwaukee. They stole 6 bases. I should have written it down.
That's okay.
But I just saw it. I said, "Wow!" I mean, 6 bases in 1 inning. I wonder if they're going to call up a catcher. I mean,
well, or usually he's on the pitcher, not the catcher.
Yeah, with the high leg kick and all that.
Yeah, it's the Syndergaard issue. You might throw 100, but if it takes 3 days to get the ball at the plate. Yeah.
And the other night, Texas was playing the Dodgers, and I was watching some of the game because DeGrom was pitching, and he was better than he was the game before.
Mm-hmm.
So he's getting back in the group, and he's actually looked good. He's not throwing as hard as he was, but he's trying to work his way back.
Well, that's the Maddox syndrome. Maddox went out, came back, and became even a better pitcher because he had to spot his pitches more. And I think DeGrom has got the intellect to be a Maddox type of pitcher. Not to Maddox's level, but if DeGrom has to, he can pitch. So
yeah. But I mean,
I seen him pitch some great games for the Mets when he didn't have his stuff. So
because he threw so hard.
Yeah. And also ball placement. He put the ball where he wanted to when he threw hard. He's still up, down, in, and out. He just didn't throw hard. So, yeah. So I have big belief in if he can get his arm right. I have belief in him more than I do other older pitchers in the league. So,
well, I mean, I think one of my predictions is way off, picking the Orioles to win the American League East because I thought the Yankees.
A lot of baseball.
Well, there's a lot of baseball left, but if they don't find some pitching, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, it's still unbelievable to me that they didn't do anything more in the offseason to rectify that problem. Here we are as 2 guys that just talk all out of our high ends, and we know that they need pitching, and it's unbelievable to me that they just didn't try to make a trade. I mean, Cease is still out there. I mean, they tried to trade him all offseason. He's still there. He looked good last night against Astros.
Yeah, and the San Diego's pitching staff is outstanding. I mean, that team really looks good. That team.
And I want to say this year, and I'm probably way off. This is my eyeballs watching the games that I'm watching. I can't watch everything. I don't look at the stat, and I probably once I look at the stat, I go, "Oh, I'm way off." But I'm seeing more balls in play this year than strikeouts. I have, of course, the big strikeout pitchers are still getting their strikeouts. They're getting their 2+ an inning or whatever. But even the guys that are batting 200 are putting the ball in play. I just think we have got to an era where these guys are so knowledgeable about where these guys hit the baseball generally, and they pitch to that, that you see a lot of balls getting caught that might have not have been caught, and they can cover ground. I've seen some balls caught now.
I'll give you an example. The White Sox and Colorado have the 2 worst records in baseball as of yesterday. I was watching the White Sox in Boston this afternoon. They were playing on MLB in Boston. It was the only game up. And I was watching some of them. And I'm going to tell you what, the White Sox might not hit the ball that much. They might not have the greatest pitching in the world, but they certainly can play defense.
Yeah, they got some good defenders.
I mean, Boston was hitting that ball all over the place.
Well,
and the White Sox were catching it.
The Twins are in the same place. As long as Byron Buxton's healthy, he's one of the best center fielders in baseball.
Oh, yeah, and the Twins
down everything.
Yeah, the Twins have a very good defense. They don't.
I mean, you the Diamondbacks. You said they scored 8 runs against them. You have to hit blisters to get that ball down the outfield against the Diamondbacks. But it's like that all over the league now. Like these guys. If you watch Dela Cruz, some of the plays he's made from shortstop so far this year, I know that they're playing more at the middle, but he's catching balls 5 feet. He's starting on the shortstop side of the bag, and he's still catching line drives 5 feet on the other side of the base. I mean, I don't care what you say. I'm not seeing anybody else doing that.
Well, I mean, I watched a lot of the Reds in Baltimore the first 2 games. You know, I didn't watch yesterday because I wasn't at home. But I watched the first couple of games, and Jim Palmer said, if you walk this guy, it's a double.
Right. Yeah,
I mean, you walk this guy, it's a double. I mean, there's a lot more stolen bases. There's more stolen bases this year so far, too. The only alarming thing is that there's a lot of people hitting 200 or less.
It is, and that's where
that's because of the defense and people still swinging from their heels.
Yeah, and I think you'll still see strikeouts where they're instead of putting the ball in play. But if Pete Alonso strikes out, I'm not as upset as if the 7th place batter strikes out. Right? Pete Alonso is there to drive in runs and hit home runs, even with 2 strikes. So that's where I'm a little different than like old school baseball. But, you know, if my 7th place batter is in the lineup and there's a guy on 2nd or 3rd and he's striking out, not even cutting his swing down at all, but I've seen more balls hit to the opposite field, guys just playing pepper, doing what they got to do to put the ball in play to move runners. But the defenses, these defenses, they're so knowledgeable about who they're playing. They all now have cards in their pocket when the player, and then they pitch to that strength. They don't want to pitch away from where they want him to hit where he hits it. So that's where their defense is at. And, you know, if you went to live games, you could see it better than when you do on TV. Because on TV, you're seeing just pitcher hitter. But, man, these guys are right there. They're always in position. And
we're talking about hitting. The hitting, one of the best acquisitions so far. It's early yet, but so far is Bregman from Boston.
Yes, went 5 for 5 the other day.
He went 5 for 5 the other day, and today he had 2 walks and a base hit. And he's also had 3 or 4 hits to the opposite. When he went 3 or 4 balls to the opposite field, which is not like him. He's a dead pull hitter. Right. But they said working with the hitting instructor in Boston, he's actually hit a few outside pitches to the opposite field. So
that's good. And I mean, Bregman going to the Boston, I knew was going to be a huge. That's why I picked. I mean, he's not the only reason. I think Boston got better. They got a year older in a lot of positions, and man, Boston's just a better team this year.
Getting the pitcher from Chicago didn't hurt either.
Right, and I think the Yankees are good, but the Yankees tend to back into the season, they start having either injuries or they just look old, and they got to prove me wrong. Just, you know, like other teams.
Well, Stanton is taking some batting practice. They said, you know, they said he had tennis elbow, and they said they had
both elbows.
He had bad tendons in both elbows, and he took injections and everything, and then rested, and so he's at least swinging off tees and taking a little batting practice.
Man, and as hard as much I mean, most of the torque is in your midsection, but man, all of that in their arms it can't feel good. I'd be throwing inside on him all day, making him keep those hands in,
Well, they had
make him uncomfortable as I possibly could as a pitcher.
the young man that's DHing for the Yankees now, that catcher that they brought up. What's his name? He is hitting a ton.
I don't know. I know Austin Wells is their regular catcher.
Right. This kid is a catcher by trade, but he's doing the DHing because Stanton's out. So he's doing the DHing and he's hitting a ton.
So are they having three?
Left-handed batter.
Are they having three catchers?
I guess.
Okay, because that would be tough to do. I mean, hey, good for. I mean, I like to see the best baseball that we could possibly do. So if that works for them, it works for them, even though it's the Yankees. I mean, I said it the other day. Baseball just needs certain players. We need Trout playing really good, and we got it. We need.
Yeah, well, Trout hit 2 home runs the other night.
Mm-hmm.
But going into the game, he'd been 2 for 22, so he'd been in a slump.
But we have him out there. Ohtani. We it's just we're better with them than without them as a whole. Watching as fans, as everything.
Yeah, Freddie being back.
Freddie, oh man, Freddie's just a class act, dude. He's another older guy. Him and we were talking about him a minute ago with a hurt hip. They started together with the Braves, so they're both got age on them. So that was
yeah, they both. Yeah, he and Mookie, they're in their 30s now, so
yeah. And Mookie's still Mookie. Mookie's playing well, and they can put it. That's a guy. I mean, he'll probably make an all-star team as short. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins a Golden Glove and be another guy that's won like a Golden Glove in 3 different positions, an all-star in 4 different positions, whatever. Center, right, second, and short. I mean, that's kind of that's first ballot Hall of Fame to me. I don't know what else.
Oh yeah, there's no question. He's the first ballot Hall of Famer. A man can play 3 positions and hit like he does.
Yeah.
It's it's automatic and all.
Yeah.
He's in the Hall. Shohei's in the Hall. Freddie's in the Hall. Kershaw's in the Hall.
I think Arenado is. Kershaw, I don't know. There's that.
We'll wait and see. But I
don't think he's going to be a first ballot. But
no, I don't think it'll be first ballot. But he's going to be
the first ballot will say a lot because he hasn't had the playoffs. He's kind of the opposite Bumgarner. He's him and Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah.
So
the only thing Bumgarner did was win World Series.
Right. I mean, if that's what you're going to do, be good at it, I guess.
Well, do it. That's the one thing to be good at, winning World Series.
Yes, so that's those type of guys. Like that's the ones. Like I'm sure he probably will, but it's going to be interesting, the Hall and all that when that comes around. But I think we got a lot of good players. Like I said, I don't know what to call this era of baseball. If it's the second golden age, the modern age, I don't know. It's but man, these guys from 19 to 40, these guys can play. And teams like you said, Miami, they're all. You said 13 teams and 2 are at 500 in April. That's pretty good. And then you were naming off every division right now. Everybody, there's a first place team with a second place team that's a game out.
That makes it even better.
Right. In other leagues were 2 or 3 teams. So, I've talked about this last year. I don't know if it's people would call it mediocrity. I don't. I just think that there is enough athletic talent out there that all the teams now can share in it. And it makes the league better and more competitive. The problem is still we don't have enough pitching, but pitching's getting better. I've been really, really watching the pitching this year, and it looks like it's getting better. It's just It's hard. It's hard to that position. That's a hard
Oh, and
position.
I don't know how many people know about this, but Paul Skeens pitched the other night in Pittsburgh, and they had Skeens bobblehead night, and they're going to give bobbleheads to the first 20,000 people in the ballpark.
I'm
And there
sure
was
the madhouse.
they were lined up across Roberto Clemente Bridge to get into the ballpark, and there was such a clamor about I'm going to be the 20,001 guy, and I'm not going to get a bobblehead. They gave a bobblehead to everybody in the ballpark. They wound up getting over 25,000 people crammed in there, and they 35,000 people crammed in there, and they gave everybody a bobblehead. So they all got one. And then Skeens lost because Pittsburgh can't hit. They cannot hit. Seattle has trouble hitting. Those two teams, they've got good pitching, but no hit.
So that bobblehead right now, $175 on eBay.
There you go. And there's thousands of them out there.
Yeah. I only see that one. It says $419.25.
Yeah, that's when they did it.
Yeah.
Wow. 2 nights ago. It was on Saturday night.
Here's one. It's 17 bids with 21 hours left at $92. 147. So you can go online and get you one if you want it.
I don't think I need
it. There's one at the low price of 130 or best offer.
Yeah.
So I like a good bobblehead, but not that much.
Yeah, I saw Sports Center was on earlier today, and I'm not an NBA fan or anything like that, but they were talking about what's his name, plays for the Golden State.
Curry?
The shooter.
Curry?
Curry, yeah. Seth Curry has the number 1 jersey in in basketball sales. You know who's number 2? Caitlin Clark.
Oh, yeah.
Caitlin Clark is number 2 in jerseys. Because what they were saying, they were talking about it on Sports Center and on another show on Fox that I watch sometimes, sports show, Colin Coward on FS1. And she was named the Time Magazine Athlete of the Year back last year. Yep. This year they came out with the 100 most influential people in the world. She didn't make the list, but 2 other women in the WNBA did. So how does that work?
Yeah, that's the pressure. But
that's what they say. They were overthinking it.
That's no biggie.
I mean, she changed that whole league, guys. She changed the whole league.
Yeah, well, you can tell now. I mean, look at this draft this past week. The league is going to be so good this year. These women, I mean, and some that didn't even get drafted, they'll get invites for tryouts or whatever. Man, that league is going to be so good. But anyway, back to baseball. But that's the same point in baseball I was making, was like these young people, they're so ready to play. They play at a higher level earlier in life. That
that's in all the professional sports are like that. They've all travel teams. They got all travel teams. They got
a travel team, and it looks like an NBA warm up. If you ever watch any highlights of high school travel teams, ages. You got junior high kids at Duncan and stuff, and it's like, Jesus Christ, shooting from outside the gym. Baseball players bringing their own weight sets when they travel.
Yeah,
I mean, football.
Yeah, there's a high school baseball. There's a high school baseball team in Arizona. When they go on a road trip and they stay in a hotel overnight, they have to play. Like when they go to another school.
Yeah, they got a bus that has.
They'll stay in a hotel and they'll play a game like one day and then stay overnight and play a game the next day, and then they come home. Well, they set up a whole gym in the parking lot.
Yeah, off of the second bus. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, that's what I was talking. It's a whole different world, and all of that is we're going to see the Caitlin Clarks in every league. We've kind of seen that in baseball. We're seeing it in basketball. Football's a little different because all it takes is somebody to knock the crap out of you one time to kind of slow you down. But we're seeing that quarterback play. You get duds and you get some superstars like the kid at Washington. Hopefully he stays upright.
And same
Your
thing with
mama let him talk to Juju. It's no problem. Juju's a nice girl. Come on, mama needs to get out of the way. Let the
well, these
boy talk.
guys. Well, I mean, a lot of these young men in baseball are the same way. I mean,
Yeah.
they come into baseball ready.
Yes.
I was watching a little golf the other day, and one of the commentators who played way back in the day with Jack Nicklaus said, excuse me, he said, there'll never be another Nicklaus or Tiger Woods or Ben Hogan because there's so many good young golfers coming right out of college in that nobody will dominate. There'll be
Yeah.
too
Well,
many
we
people.
talked about
There'll
that
be
a
too many
couple of
people
weeks ago.
winning. And it's the same.
Yeah.
Baseball. Baseball was criticized because they said, oh, the top tier teams, they win it all the time. No, they don't.
Not anymore.
No, it's been like 20 years since a team has won 2 World Series in a row.
Yeah. So that's the Yankee stat of how many World Series they win. They're the best, whatever. But they won it all in a generation when they could just buy championships.
They had more money than anybody else, and that's
40s and 50s. They had Murderers Row and all those Bronx Bombers. But now it's not like that. It's hard with free agency, guys moving. It's tough to build teams and build winners. And I love the fact, and I think a lot more and more of these teams are looking inward, looking at draft, where we used to not see that in baseball. You would pick up some key players in free agency and fill some spots with your minor leagues, but now they go out and they make trades for minor leaguers to fill their minor leagues for future in the majors. It's they want to control the players, and I can't blame them for that. But man, these guys are so ready to play at an early age, and I love it. I love the young blood. I love the eagerness to play, the love of the game that these guys have, and like you said, you brought up some historical moments, and history is being made every day, and it's awesome in every sport. So I'm loving it, and we got our Caps playing tonight, first game of the playoffs, and it's just fun right now. Hockey, you got basketball getting ready to start up. It's real season, and then the WNBA is right around the corner. Yeah, and I mean they're pumping up the girls softball now with these golden tickets that they're handing out at softball games. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's fun right now in sports, and these young people have a lot of chances to do what they love to do, and it's still hard to get to the top, almost impossible, but if you can, and these kids work hard, that's so. Anything else there that you got?
No, the only thing the yogiism this week, he was driving to the Hall of Fame. He'd already been inducted, but he was driving to the Hall of Fame, and somehow he got lost. And his wife, Carmen, she said, Yogi, we're lost. And he said, yeah, but we're making good time.
I've heard that one. Yeah, Yogi. One of the great catchers that I love, and I love my catchers. So, thanks for that, Dad. Been a great talking to you. A little passionate today. I got a little fired up today for some reason. But my Mets are really playing well. They just need this bottom half of their lineup to do more than get a hit every once in a while, and I'd be happy with that. And our O's have to do something, but a lot of season left. Let us know how your team is doing, what your thoughts are on the season so far. What do you think about these young players? Or and until next time, like, share, subscribe if you haven't, and we will see ya.